Okay. So I want to start just by thanking everyone for joining us for our communications workshop. For those of you who may not know me, I would like to introduce myself, Angie Bird. I'm the Associate Regional Minister for Communications with the region, and on my ministry team is Jeff Parker, who is the communications assistant and our IT guru. So he does a lot of the technology end of things, and I usually work up front with a lot of the strategy. So our communications ministry has been around for almost about 2 years, coming up in May. And what we do for the region is what we're doing today. And that is really to help our congregations with their communications needs. So I know Jeff is going to mute us just so you can.
Okay.
So with that, I just want to let you all know that we are here to assist you, both now as we are in these challenging times, but also once we're on the other end of this crisis, know that we are here and available for you. So a few housekeeping things before we get started. I just mentioned that Jeff is going to mute everyone for the purpose of the recording. We're going to record this and have it available for us to be able to go back and reference. In the process of Jeff doing his demonstrations, which he's going to provide us and walk us through some of the live streaming capabilities that we might be able to use. You might have questions, and I see that some of you have already started using the chat. We're going to encourage you to please go ahead and put your questions in that chat section at the end of the presentation. We hope to have some time to actually go through and answer some of those questions. And if time is not available during this talk, then we would definitely follow up with you to get you the answers that you're looking for. So I think that covers our housekeeping, and we'll go ahead and get started so we can try to stay within our hour. So as far as our agenda, we'll talk about our purpose for meeting today, the benefits of having an online presence. We'll talk about some of the hardware and software needed for establishing that online presence. I have live streaming instructions as well as creating videos, editing, and uploading. We'll talk briefly about online donations, social media, and some of the benefits of social media. And as stated, we'll have some time for some Q&A and then some final thoughts. So with that, our meeting purpose. So given the fact that we're really facing some challenging times right now with the coronavirus situation, and that as of 5 o'clock today, our state of Illinois, will be under a stay-at-home order, which means that we will all be sheltering in place. So the purpose of this meeting is really for us to be able to provide you all with some resources so that we can keep our connections with our communities and make sure that those lines of communication stay open. So as we progress, let's talk about the way in which we can do that. Obviously is making sure that we have an online presence. And I know that some of us already are online, so we'll just briefly mention during these times what some of those benefits are. And that would be to be able to minister to those homebound and those practicing social distancing. And as just stated, we'll all be doing that as of today for a few weeks. Continue to meet the needs of our congregations, provide people with some answers, some hope. I think those are the things that people will be looking for during these upcoming weeks. We know that during these times, it's common that people become fearful, and that anxiety will sometimes creep in, but our presence can try to allow us to provide some information that will hopefully be a witness for God and be some calm in the midst of the storm. And it also will allow us to continue to build trust in our relationships. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure to mention is that during this time, I know that a lot of us have our personal social media accounts. I want to encourage you because, as we just mentioned, a lot of people are going to be searching. If they aren't able to get to their church homes on Sunday morning, they're going to be looking online to see where they might be able to hear sermon, where they might be able to hear God's word. So I want to encourage you, if you haven't already, to create an account with your church name on it, because many won't know the pastor's name, but they can look online, see what churches are in the area, and may go searching for your particular church. So I just want to make sure that we're considering that during these times. So we'll move now into some of our instruction. Jeff is going to be going through showing us live streaming on both YouTube and Facebook. I want to also note as we go through this presentation that what we're sharing with you today are, and the platforms that we're sharing are because our platforms that we are currently using as a region. We're not saying that we are endorsing any of these. We're sharing with you specifically Facebook and YouTube because they are common social media sites. You know, we have about 73% of adult Americans on YouTube and 69% on Facebook. And during this time, I expect that those numbers may be increasing. But also, I think that as Jeff will share with you and as we go through these are some sites that hopefully will make a transition to having an online presence a little bit more easier than some of the other ones that are available. So just wanted to make sure that you understood our rationale and the reasons behind the ones that we're sharing. But at the end of the day, there are some other ones that we'll share with you in case you opt to consider some other ones. So with that, I will turn it over to Jeff and he'll begin to walk us through.
All right. Hello, everyone. First, to start off, the main reasons why we're using Facebook and YouTube is you don't need anything fancy to stream to these services. You will not need any third-party software. You will not need any third-party audio solutions or anything like that. So all that you'll need to stream to either of these solutions is a computer with a web camera and a microphone. Laptops come with both of these built in. Your phone also comes with both of those built in. So if you choose to stream to either of those, it's really easy to do using either of them. So I'm going to switch on over to our YouTube panel and we can go ahead and get started. All right, for this presentation, for showing how to present, I'm actually gonna have to disable my camera on Zoom. One of the preferences for all media solutions that you will encounter if you choose to do this is your camera can only be designated to one source. In this case, I can't use both Zoom and YouTube or Facebook's media presentation while it's in use by another device. You get a nice error message.
And while Jeff is doing that, I also just want to note that he's doing this and he'll show this to us live in the presentation deck that we're going to post. Jeff has already created some pre-recorded video, so those will be in the document for you to have as a resource as well. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, starting out, if you're on YouTube and you've never used live streaming before, it is hiding underneath this little video camera button, and there's a go live icon. If you have never gone live on YouTube before, there is a 24-hour wait period before your account is validated for it. When you click it, you get this wonderful window that says you will be ready in 24 hours, and Once it's activated, you can go live anytime after that. When you click go live, the studio will load up. It will ask for permissions to use your web camera and your microphone. If you grant them, you will see the camera get populated in the background. All we have to do is give ourselves a title. You can also schedule these live recordings to go out later rather than immediately, but at that point it's no longer a live recording, it's a video that you have recorded on YouTube. Once you have that set, you'll click next and smile for your thumbnail. And then it will give you the precursor settings of where everything will be. You will have a live chat window for anyone that comes to watch your video at the same time as you're streaming on the right-hand side of the panel. As people say anything, you will be able to read it and respond to it live. We don't really recommend doing that in the middle of a sermon, but it is possible to do a response to are there prayer requests live during your online stream of a service. And then as soon as we click go live, this video recording will be going live on YouTube. So now anyone on our channel will be able to see this, and it will give us a counter, how many people are watching, and you can mute your microphone and end it. And it's all situated in this window that is built into YouTube. Once you're done recording, you would click end stream. It will give you a nice little warning, are you sure you want to stop? In this case, yes. It will give you your stream finished statistics, and you can also edit your video in YouTube's Studio. What this means is that you can actually trim content out of your live stream if needed. In this case, there's nothing that really needs to be done. We're just going to make this so that it is private. So anyone visiting our YouTube channel on CCIW Disciples will not randomly get a 5-second video of us being live for a moment. So YouTube has made this ridiculously easy for us to go live and present ourselves to any of our viewers and our content. So it's a very powerful tool to make use of because, again, we don't need any external solutions. We don't need a third-party piece of software. It's all in browser. If we switch over to Facebook, Facebook has made this a little bit more different and a little bit convoluted depending on how your church's solution is set up. If your church solution is a page, you can just go to your church's page that you have built, and there is a go live button. If you are a group, however, you cannot do it this way. If you are a group, you will have to click the 3 little dots on the right side of your create a post and click live video. Once the live video has launched, it will, again, just the same as YouTube, ask for permissions to allow your camera to be used. And now we have to make sure that our video gets shared to the correct space. In this case, we want to share this with a group in our page. So on the right-hand side, there is a drop-down box saying where you want to share this. In this case, the CCIW Disciples page. And then we would just need to give ourselves a video title. And then eventually this will connect and we'll be allowed to go live. So now we're connected to the CCIW Disciples page. We'll be posting a Sunday worship, and if we click go live, this right side will get a chat box, just the same as YouTube, and we can talk and respond to people during the worship service. I'm not going to click go live on this one because Facebook will then ping everyone that we've gone live. So once you're done, you click end video. Facebook will populate a link that you can then distribute, and it will be in your media sections on Facebook's media panel. You will not be able to, however, unlike YouTube, edit it once it's up. So you can't trim or change anything in that regards. When you're done, just close out of it and you're good to go. So both online streaming solutions in these two cases are ridiculously easy to use. And all you would need to do is make sure that your congregation knows the link to your Facebook page, your Facebook group, or your YouTube page. And once they're subscribed to you, they will get a push notification on their phone if they're signed in on Facebook or YouTube that you are live. The final method that we're going to show is doing a recording with a camera and then publishing this to YouTube. So I will switch this over to the camera. So in this case, Windows 10 has a built-in camera function, also built-in editing software, so you don't need any third-party solutions to use this. My camera is currently set up with something called the rule of thirds, which is this wonderful grid on it. You can turn it off in the drop-down box over here. And on this right side are your styles of recording. In this case, we're on video, there's photography. You can actually scan documents with your web camera, and this purple box will try to populate it. And then whiteboard, and it will look for a whiteboard and then translate it to text. We won't be using any of those though. So on camera, once you're ready to go, you would just click take video. It does a nice little audio beep to acknowledge that it's going and gives you the nice little red stop button. Generally, for pre-recorded videos, it's really good to give yourself a lead in for where to cut your video. I recommend a clap at the beginning of a video, because then you can cut it off right before your message begins. And then once we have the video going, we'll wind up cropping down the beginning and the end of the video so that we only have a small section in the middle that we actually want people to see. And we're actually going to edit what I'm recording right now just to go through it. So let's stop this video, and then we're going to switch over once I go find out where that video went. All right. So this is the recording that we just did. If we hit play on it, it's going to go in the background. You can live scrub through the video. And this is just the built-in Windows photo editor. There's nothing fancy to it. You don't need an extra solution. To make use of it, you just click edit and create, and then we're going to trim our video down. And if you remember, I clapped in this video. So there's the clap. You just move your beginning point to that spot and then repeat for the end of the video. I want to cut off this whole part where I'm staring off to the side of the screen. Once we have the video cropped down, we just save a copy of it. And now we have a cropped down video without the clapping motions at all. We can then take this video that we've made and go over to YouTube again and create a video and upload this video. Just find the file that you've just recorded and drag and drop it straight onto the little icon in the middle. And then all we have to do is give ourselves a title. if I can spell it. The video will be processed and automatically added to your YouTube channel. Once it is done, you just have to select, I want this video to be public. Once you've finished everything, it will give you a link to distribute to anyone that you want. You can also share this link with Facebook, Twitter, all these social media platforms that most of us have never used, and you're good to go. And that is all of our quick solutions for sharing videos, distributing videos, and the like. So I will switch back to the PowerPoint really quickly, and we'll skip through some things because we've covered these. All right.
Okay, so thank you, Jeff. So Jeff just went through, obviously, live streaming with YouTube, Facebook, and then how to record a video and edit it. I know that those were a lot of steps fairly quickly, but we want you to know, again, we will have this video as well as some other videos available to you so that you can look at them at your pace. So we're going to talk about online donations next. And again, we're going to speak more specifically to Givelify because that's the online donation system that we are currently using with the region. But again, note that there are others that are available for you to consider. So with that, Jeff, if you want to take us to the next page. There are a few things in regards to Givelify. It's givelify.com. And again, it allows your congregations or others to donate to your church electronically. Again, some of the benefits is that it is free to sign up. If you choose to do so, just note that they will ask for your 501c3 information if you do it under worship service. There's no contract. They do charge fees. There's a service fee of a 2.9% and a 30-cent per donation. And you'll see that even with some of the other services that are out there and available, most of them do charge fees. The one thing that I will say about Givelify as well is that once you go through that process and you set your church up with it, people can download, your congregation or others can download an app right on their phone and be able to donate to your church. Also, you can, once you have set everything up, you can put that donation button on your website. I did participate in a webinar that Givelify was having yesterday, just to see what additional information or insights that they might have. And one of the interesting things that they shared is that in looking at when people were giving, the spikes were actually during the weekdays between the hours of 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. So that tells you that people are giving on days other than Sundays and contributing. So it's just something to consider. People can give to your church at their convenience. So again, if it's not Givelify, then you might want to consider another online donation service. If you do choose to do Givelify and you want to set it up on your website, Jeff is going to walk through that process of connecting Givelify to your website. So he'll walk us through that next.
All right, what you're seeing playing in the background right now is how to get your YouTube link on Givelify. Well, not just YouTube link, it's how to get a link for any media source or any website that you have. And once this plays through, I'll walk you through as the video goes. How we embed these links is through an embedding process. Once you've signed into Givelify, to get your link, it's under settings. And then in settings, it's under website giving. And then you just click get your code on the page. And then you pick the button style that you like, show the code, and then copy the code. This code gets added to any website that you have. If you're running a Weebly or WordPress powered web solution, you just have to make sure that you add a raw HTML field to your website and paste the code straight into that solution. You can also just share links with Twitter, with Facebook, or create a QR code with the link and put a QR code on a page as an image.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. So we'll move on to social media. We talked briefly already about benefits of just having an online presence in general. When I talk about specifically the benefits to your social media posts, again, that's just allowing us to continue to have a continuous stream of communication throughout the week. One of the main reasons people are on social media sites is to maintain relationships. So our social media posts allow us to continue that dialogue with our congregations, again, during this time, to be able to provide a timely word for those who are seeking comfort. Just wanted, again, to share some stats with you from Pew Research that YouTube has 1.9 billion monthly users and Facebook has 2.4 billion. So again, we have an opportunity to really expand our reach. If you're like me, you've seen videos that have come into my news feed from Italy. Right now, you know, we have the opportunity to reach around the world with our messages as well. So we just want to encourage you to make sure that during this time you're able to use Facebook. What I would, Jeff, if you could take us to that next page. So I realized that during this time, you know, pastors are wearing a lot of hats and you guys are very busy. And so what we wanted to do and what we have done is we've created a small library of 30 posts that we're going to make available to you to use during this time on your social media accounts. So this page just shows a few of them. Again, you can choose to use them as you please. Use the ones that you feel will continue to share that message that you might want out there. I will likely continue to add to the library depending on how things progress, but wanted to make sure that we provided you with some resources to try to make this as easy as possible for you right now. So on the next page, you'll see, if you can move us to the next one, this link is where we're going to store, again, the videos, the social media posts will be there. Everything that we're sharing with you today will be on this link, and we'll also send this out to you. So with that said, I think we are at our Q&A portion. I believe Jeff has answered some questions, but I'll go in and read a few. From Lori, in your opinion, is Givelify a better option than PayPal? I did pull up some information on PayPal. I will say that while Givelify's, I think they charged what I said 2.9. I believe PayPal is at 2.2%. However, there are some benefits to Givelify. I know that Jeff and I had spoke about. Jeff, if you want to speak to those, just about its ability to really capture where you're at, and some things that maybe PayPal isn't able to do. Jeff, if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, sure. Both Givelify and PayPal are amazing donation solutions, and I would recommend using whichever one you're most comfortable with. The main advantage of each, PayPal is a huge user base. It's a well-trusted name. When you see a PayPal button, you know it's secure. It's a private transaction, and you don't really have to worry about it. The downside to it is it's not amazingly mobile friendly. It is getting there. Givelify's main advantage is if you go somewhere and they have a donate to us online with a QR code, they can scan the QR code on their application on their phone and make a donation straight to your service. There's also a searchable list of all the churches in the region. Overall, though, pick the one that you're most comfortable with. There's really no wrong solution in this case.
Yep. Thank you. I believe that the other questions have been addressed and everyone can see this. But just know too, like we said, we're here. So if at the end of this, if you are looking at the videos and you determine that you do have a question, please feel free to reach out to us. Jeff, if you want to take us to the next slide, this is where we can about additional resources.
Eli brought up a really good point, so I'm going to cover that really quickly. If you don't know what a QR code is, if you go to Google or Bing or any website and you search QR code, you'll find something called a QR code generator.
Yeah.
With these sites, you can then copy, that's not going to work. Facebook.com will work, however. You can copy any URL and paste it in, and you get a image QR code. Most of us have seen one of these at some point in time, either on disposable paper cups or plastic cups, or on banners or advertisements. And when you use your phone and you scan that code, it immediately opens up a website or the corresponding application. So with Givelify, it would open up a donation panel as long as you paste that link. Is my video not enabled?
Hi, this is Greg. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Here, when you were recording your video, when you were showing it, your image had completely flipped over because your pictures were on your right side were now over on what appeared to be your left side.
What you were seeing there is a wonderful little, I guess, fun adventure of what is flipped photography. Zoom does a mirror-based video presentation where a standard camera does not. So it can get a little confusing, but you can flip it in video editors, and there's also settings of which you can toggle on and off the flipped camera function. I believe Zoom has that option as well. That's just something that you're going to have to deal with in the long run. There's not too much that can be done about how some cameras record. I do want to go back and cover one of these QA little questions that popped up earlier. Neither Facebook nor YouTube will delete videos from your feed unless there's a breach of conduct in them. So you would need to do something that would get your videos deleted. Usually copyrighted music, inappropriately used content. If you get a copyright strike against your videos, if you've used church music online, as long as you can respond to the takedown notice with your license, because most churches have a license for their music. Just make sure that your license actually says online streaming or video streaming to make use of it.
I think we do.
Pastor Phil has asked if there's a way to use pre-recorded material on either a live stream. To do that, you will actually need to use a third-party media solution and connect it to whatever you're streaming to. I can actually show you what that looks like really quickly. All right. So this is a open source, free to use broadcasting piece of software. And I'm going to turn off all these solutions. With this utility, you connect it to whatever streaming service you're on, and then you can broadcast with this. So to make use of it, you would want to add your camera, video capture device, video capture, we'll ask webcam. In this case, I want to say webcam. And then you can also add a window capture and media capture devices to your resource list down here. But with the built-in web browser versions, you won't be able to. This piece of software is called OBS, or Open Broadcast Software. It's completely free. You can download it and mess around with it. To connect it to solutions, it's through streaming, and then you can just click YouTube. And then you just need to go get your stream key and your permissions from YouTube and paste them directly into that. Same with Facebook Live. You just need to get your keys for that. And I can actually show you on Facebook how to get that. On Facebook, if you click Go Live, I have to disable my camera over in the solution again. Okay, so once you're in here, to use that OBS software, you'd click this connect icon at the top, and it will give you your stuff to copy paste into the OBS piece of software. And that would let you use a third-party solution for it.
Okay. Are you taking us back to
the PowerPoint? Yeah.
Okay.
And find it in my list of everything. There we go.
No problem. Yeah, we've talked. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. We've talked about some of these other resources just during this conversation in terms of other. So we just wanted to make sure that you have some other considerations for live streaming, online donations. There are a couple of video editing apps that you can use on your phone. Also, Scott Woolridge provided this link that we thought that we would share as well, and it actually takes us to a map of a virtual worship map of different disciples churches that are doing worship online. So thanks, Jeff. So this is another resource in the event that you might want to share this with any of your members as well. And I think we are wrapping up in terms of final thoughts. So what I just would like to do is, if you during this time are going to be really expanding your online presence, just a reminder to please let your members know so that they know to look out for those communications now online. And not only that, that they participate and that they also share the content that you are putting out there so that we can really be sharing our reach across these platforms. And then if you do decide that you want to go ahead and sign up for those online donations, please let them know that as well. Another stat that they shared yesterday is that, you know, sometimes the number one reason why people give is because they've been asked. So we want people to know that you have that, it's available, and they can still contribute to our congregations while we are sheltering in place. So one of the, I did just want to share with you a scripture that has been keeping me going. Jeff, if you would like to go to the next page for me. And that is Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, regard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So we want to thank you for taking the time. Again, we're here. We will answer any questions that you have. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And if there aren't any other questions, we will go ahead and end this. The last slide on the presentation that you all will be receiving includes our email addresses. I'm at Angie@cciwdisciples.org, and Jeff is at Jeff@cciwdisciples.org. Again, we are accessible and willing to help you in any way that we can. If nothing else, may the peace of God rest upon each of you, and we thank you for joining us today. Thanks so much.